Well, my friends, I still don't have a name for it. I'm so sorry. I think I need your help. I can't call it Forgotten Race Review 2, this time it's personal, because they're no longer races, they're ancestries. And of course, when we start talking about how much the Inner Sea has changed, yeah, we're calling it the Inner Sea 2 Electric Boogaloo. Please believe! Unfortunately, at this time, we have no non-core races. Looking to just the core until a couple months on. But these ancestries have got some really powerful, really scary things, and we are here to talk about them. If you're liking what you're seeing, remember to like, to subscribe, to ding the bell. Stay caught up on all your Pathfinder 1st and 2nd edition stuff. If you have requests for what you'd like me to talk about, down there it goes. Patronage at any tier helps your requests get to the front of the line, gets you access to our character sheets, and hey, want to come play 2nd edition with us? You certainly can. Today, this episode of your Pathfinder 2nd edition content was brought to you in part by Tiki's the Artificer. Want to watch somebody play an Iraseni gnome with a familiar that speaks fluent Russian? Yeah, of course you do. You better make sure to check out Age of Ashes. Our Session 0 drops later this weekend. Now, let's hit it. Alrighty, so I'm just going to dive straight into these. There's a lot of stuff to unpack here. A lot of it's really good. Dwarves got a lot of crazy stuff in 1.6, and I'm not really seeing anything that beats Stonewalker. Oops, meld into stone as a 3rd level spell. Once per day, pretty good. All the ambushes. Need I say more? Yeah, so I thought. Now look at that clan dagger. Also, I hadn't seen that yet. Now that is shiny. But it's not near as shiny as some of these sweet heritages and ancestries. Let's start with the elves, shall we? The Woodland Elf Heritage. You're adapted to life in the forest or the deep jungle, and you know how to climb in things. When climbing trees, vines, and other foliage, you move at half speed on a success, full speed on a crit success. But whatever, that's not what we're here to talk about. What we want to talk about is that you can always use the take cover action when you are within forest terrain to gain cover. Even if you're not next to an obstacle, you can take cover behind. In combat, taking cover is one action. Assuming you are benefiting from cover or are near a feature that allows you to take cover or you're prone, this gives you a +4 circumstance bonus to AC, to reflex saves against AoEs, and stealth checks to hide, sneak, or otherwise not be seen, assuming you would have standard cover. Otherwise, you get that +2 circumstance with standard cover until you move, use an attack action, become unconscious, or end this effect as a free action. Now imagine if you can do that in any square. Is this circumstantial? Sure. A decided yellow feat, if you will, but this is wonderful for GMs who want to use elves as opponents. Attack, step, take cover. The elf archer ambush looks really, really terrifying. I wish that was the scariest thing we were seeing today, though. Gnomes! This race. Getting more stuff. Chameleon gnome means your gnome can now change colors and stuff. How very first worldy of you. A +2 circumstance bonus to stealth check in your surroundings until your surroundings shift is really good. Especially because spend a little bit of downtime and boom. What you need when you need it. Or hey, if you got 10 minutes with the Fey Touch gnome, you can choose a cantrip from the primal spell list, which you can cast at will, heighten to a spell level equal to half your level, rounded up, of all things. What? That's one of the things I can't comprehend in 2nd edition. Rounded up? What madness is this? You can switch that cantrip up once per day, as long as you take 10 minutes. In addition to the fact that the gnome still gets a familiar, one of the most powerful things in the game. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. Never underestimate the power of a tiny smart thing that can avoid notice. It's just a bird. It's not trying to do anything horrible. Oops, you have a spy now. Energized Font. For one action with a focus pool, at least one innate spell from a gnome, heritage, or ancestry feat that shares a tradition with one of your focus spells. Once per day, you regain a focus point. Gnome druids, gnome fey sorcerers, gnome other primal things. Gluh. Disgusting. Goblin players, are you tired of 6 hit points at 1st level? No longer. I've heard it from many of my players, the goblins are so front-loaded. In Pathfinder 2nd edition, they're almost overpowered. Unbreakable Goblin gives you 10 hit points from your ancestry instead of 6. And it reduces your fall damage, but mostly 10. 10 hit points on a goblin, tied with the dwarf for the most ancestry hit points in the game right now. I'm sure that's not terrifying at all, and I'm sure my players won't use that to stab things to death forever. We be goblins, we be hardier than humans. What? Halfling players, you're getting a lot of fun stuff too. The Hillock Halfling heritage. Say that 10 times fast. Accustomed to a calm life in the hills, your people find rest and relaxation especially replenishing, particularly when indulging in creature comforts. When you regain hit points overnight, add your level to the hit points regained. When anyone uses the medicine skill to treat your wounds, you can eat a snack to add your level to the hit points regained. You can have second breakfast and get value out of it. That's not only is that really good, it's also probably the most flavorful thing I've ever read in my life. Good God. But it gets better. You guys remember Lucky Halfling? You remember how we've talked about how re-rolling stuff is just really powerful? Anything that manipulates RNG is the most powerful thing in the game. That's why witches were so terrifying in 1E. Guiding Luck no longer just gives you the ability to Lucky Halfling on perception checks or attack rolls. No. Guiding Luck says that you can use Halfling Luck twice per day, once in response to the normal trigger, that is to say failing a skill check or save, and once when you fail a perception check or attack roll. You get 2 per day now. You no longer have to worry about making sure that attack hits at the cost of failing like a clutch fortitude save. And this race doesn't use weapons one size category smaller anymore. Yeah, I could play a halfling. Now, we've got about 1 billion half-orc feats now, which is really cool. But oh, my friend, has the human gotten even more gas. I hesitate to tell you this one because it is pretty good. Oh, I don't know. It allows for a lot of weird shenanigans, which you're going to see in min-maxing for fun and profit really soon. You guys remember Multi-Talented? Of course you do. It was huge for the humans in the playtest. Getting that free dedication feat and stuff for more archetype madness. Yeah, it still works the same it did before, except if you're a half-elf, you don't need to meet the feat's ability score prereqs. If you would like to dip, say a spellcaster class, but you don't have the mental ability score to do so, but you're just trying to get some like self-buffs or cantrips or something, now you can. Oh, that's terrifying. And hey, half-orc players, notice how this has the orc trait also. Soon we'll see one of my favorite races come to light. Incredible Ferocity says you can use Orc Ferocity, which of course, when you would go to 0 hit points but not be flat killed, you stay at 1 hit point, but your wounded condition ticks up. Oh, that's new. Oh well. Now, you can use Orc Ferocity once per hour rather than once per day. That's basically once per encounter, which is really good. But my friends, what are we playing? What ancestries are hitting the road? Tell me down there in the comments. That's all the time we have. We've got an episode of min-maxing for fun and profit coming down the pipes. We've got our session 0 for Age of Ashes. Yeah, more like a session 0.5? We had a combat. I don't know. It was fun. Our session 1 will be coming up really, really soon. And we've got so much more stuff to talk about from the various books of Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Min-maxing for fun and profit is later today. Thank you guys for watching. Fist bump. See you next time.